What's going on, everybody? It's Freedo here for Your Overwatch. Scott Mercer posted another killer news post on the forums today. This time, we're talking about adjusting the brand new basically never tie system on Assault and Hybrid maps. Now, if you're not familiar with the recent patch, what happens is if the first attacking team doesn't get any progress on the objective whatsoever, when the defending team swaps to attack, all they have to do is touch the point when it's uncontested to instantly win. A lot of players don't like this game mechanic. I think personally, us on the channel vastly prefer this to every game on Hanamura tying, and really, I think I would rather have more time for this playset to settle out so the community can learn how to play this way, because really, what it means is your team on attack, when you're attacking first, is going to need to get their stuff together, get through that choke in Hanamura, play a bit more aggressive, make those team fights and engagements happen so you can get progress on the point, because if you don't, you know the enemy team is going to be able to just touch it and have this massive advantage. But really, if you think about it, both teams have the opportunity to do the same thing, so it's not like you don't control your own destiny when you attack first. You simply have to play the game. But, as Scott Mercer explains, with this potential instant win condition causes a lot of confusion. He says, even when both teams are aware of the new victory conditions and adapting appropriately, the instantaneous nature of the victory often resulted in confusion about what happened. Did the defenders not have someone on the point due to a mistake? Or did the attacking Lucio pull off an amazing boop? This lack of clarity is not ideal, so we're going to make changes in a future patch. What are those changes now? Well, they're going to add the often community requested threshold of getting at least one tick in some scenarios. So this is how it's going to pan out. And unfortunately, we're going to see more ties on these hybrid and assault maps with this new upcoming system. He gives an example. If Team A attacks the first objective on Hanamura, but only gains 10% progress after a really rough offensive round, then Team B attacks, but they only get 20%. In the new system, this is going to be a tie because neither team reached the minimum single tick or 33%. In the old system, they would have instantly won at 11%, mind you. Example number 2. Team A attacks the first objective on Hanamura, gains 90% progress. So close! Then, Team B attacks and only gains 40% progress. Team A wins as they hit the minimum 33% or single tick threshold, and also got more progress than their opponent. So this means the differential between progress matters as long as you hit that first tick. So the system will operate as it used to, more or less, as long as both teams are hitting that first tick. Example number 3, he says Team A attacks the second objective on Hanamura and fully captures it with 3 minutes left. Team B attacks the second objective on Hanamura and captures it in overtime with 0 time left. Team A is now back on attack, trying to take the first objective. But they only reach 20% progress after their time bank of 3 minutes elapses. This is a tie, because they did not meet the minimum target of a single tick. If Team A had reached 33%, then they would have won the match. Now, us on the channel have a bit of an issue with this system, based upon the game scenarios as they work out in motion in all of our games. I don't want to bring up the stopwatch game type again from so long ago. Those conversations have been quelled and stifled and stomped out, so we're not even really allowed to talk about that anymore, I think, because it's not really on the table. But we would prefer that there wasn't so many get-out-of-jail-free cards to be played on some of these maps. Because the problem that presents itself is that this 3 minutes, which likely is going to be like 1 to 3 in many of your games, isn't as big of an advantage as it should be for how well you played in the other rounds. So you go into this next round, the enemy team has a chance to tie for seemingly no reason as far as I can tell. Because to be honest, a lot of these first point holds on many hybrid and assault maps are defender biased. So with that being the case, the offense now has to redo a very difficult attack just so they don't lose the map that they were winning thus far. It adds this really weird swingy comeback potential to the team that didn't play good enough to begin with to try to readapt to the situation when in our opinion, we would rather just move on to the next map and keep things going. So what do you guys think about this? I think really the game modes would play best if the team that just did it faster won then and there, and we didn't have to try to go into these very hectic extra time scenarios on both of these game modes. Yes, I know it feels funky when the win condition is to just touch the point for a second. What percentage of matches was that actually affecting? I don't know. At least personally, I haven't even played a game where that scenario has happened. Luckily enough, this won't add many more ties, but I think I might advocate for this threshold to be even lower than 33%. But I guess we'll have to see after playing in this new system. Could the same thing be achieved, but just minimize ties even more if the threshold was, say, 10% or 15%? At the very least, then you would have a little bit of time to react, but really I think I prefer getting that threshold to be as close to 0 as possible, because then it's the most accurate to what the team physically can do. Because 33% feels like there's quite a bit of a margin for a tie, because that means you're going to have scenarios where you lock the enemy team out entirely, they get 0%, and you get 32%, but then it's a tie. To some degree, I like where it is right now, that it's very, very difficult to win the game if you don't touch the point at all. It feels punishing, but I think after some time of everyone getting used to what that is, I don't think we've had long enough for everyone to learn that that's the case. I mean, to be honest, 2CP is one of the most difficult game modes I've ever played and ever had to try to teach somebody how to play. The win conditions of them are incredibly complex. Regardless of the tie rules, just the spawn system alone and how you should be using your ults is complicated and takes 20 minutes to explain. So with that being the case, I lean towards eradicating ties at all costs and putting the power in the player's hands, rather than giving this sort of training wheels safety net to reduce losses. On the other hand, though, I think a lot of players aren't really comfortable with the flanking in order to just touch the point for a second play style. So at the very least, putting this solid threshold that you have to reach means that there's going to be more of a team fight focus approach to 2CP, because the win condition is to actually control the point for as long as you can, not simply just throw bodies on it to try to cheese out as much percentage as possible. But in my opinion, with no threshold at all, that was your goal anyway, but you just sort of could also do that. It was like an alternate win condition, which made the game more fluid in a way. Attacking on these maps in matchmaking feels so difficult that I would rather add that star potential to that flanker character that in the midst of the team fight, the defense is distracted and they sneak in and get some capture progress. I like that better rather than the stalling at the choke fights that is the norm for most 2CP maps. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It really does help us out, lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you did enjoy, why don't you hit subscribe? And while you're at it, hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Videos don't always post to subscription boxes, so don't miss out on a Your Overwatch video. Linked in the description, you can check out our Twitch page, our Twitter, and our Discord server, where you can interact with our community and find teammates to pair up with. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.